Okay, thank you. Welcome to all of you. And this is the 50th year anniversary of China-Malaysia relationship. And 50 years is normally referred to as the Golden Jubilee. And gold is a very important thing in the Chinese culture. That is why during the Chinese New Year, they serve the kam, the orange, which is symbol of gold and prosperity. And so let's hope that the Malaysia-China relationship will be like gold as well and proceed to have a much more closer relationship in future as well. And today, the topic of session 1 is working together for green growth and digital economy. Working together means harmony. How can green growth and digital economy contribute to the harmonious growth of the world? You see, our Creator created the universe in harmony. You have the world, the sun, the stars, and the moon. They don't collide with one another. They all have their functions. They work in harmony. And therefore, we in this world have sort of tempered with the harmony that was created by our Creator. And tampering with harmony means creating trouble for us. The recent weather, freak weathers in the Dubai floods, forest fires in US and Australia and elsewhere, all these are symptoms and signals that we have been tampering with the harmony of the earth. And therefore, it is very important that this conference, which is working on the green growth and digital economy, can probably see how we can collaborate to contribute to the better world in future. And we have very good speakers today. I'm very honored to be moderating all of our speakers here. And I will briefly just mention their names. Mr. Albert Ong will be the first speaker. He is the World Green Organization, has contributed to a lot of green growth in this country and elsewhere. And then next is Mr. Chin Chi Seong, who is the SME Association of Malaysia, who represents. Of course, SMEs have a big challenge in complying with green technology and green growth sometimes because of their size, but they will take time, but you cannot be completely ignoring the green growth as well. And then we have Mr. Liu, the General Manager of BYD Asia Pacific, which is creating a lot of impression around the globe for their BYD cars, EV cars. And then we have Mr. Sachin Sharma, co-founder and chief product officer of Audax. And then we have our regular panelist here, Professor Major Dr. Chin Yu Sin, who is the president of Global BRI Strategy Research Center. And then Mr. Matthew Chen, CEO of One Connect Financial Technology, Ping An. I visited his office when we were in Shenzhen last year. Very impressive technologies they have. And then last but not least, Mr. Alex Zhang, Vice President of Huawei APEC region. Huawei has excellent technology. I also happened to visit Huawei headquarters when we were in China last year. Very impressive. So without much ado, we will start the discussion. Each speaker will be given 6 minutes, except for Mr. Liu, who needs an interpreter, so we will give him an extra 4 minutes or maybe 10 minutes for him, and then the rest will have 6 minutes. kindly adhere to your time frame so that we have some time at least for question and answer from the floor. Thank you. With that, may I call upon Mr. Albert Ong to start the session?
Okay, thank you, moderator. Green, this word green has been known to us for years, for decades. Allow me to give you a new definition before we go through the green growth. Green nowadays, we reckon that as is a matter of action, whether you do good, you do kind with righteousness. So we're talking about moral justice. It's more than environmental friendly. As a start, I would like to make this new definition because this is very important as we learned from the past 5 decades of the lesson we made, the mistake we made. So we kind of coming back strongly with commercially and socially viable solutions. So the green growth, to a certain extent, is talking about doing business, doing good with moral justice. So anything you do, a kind of new business model is emerging. You want to earn money, you want to earn happy money. So you want to do something good at the same time, contributing and participating to make the world in a better place. So this is all about doing good for the world and also uplifting poverty at the same time. So in the past decades, we were talking about a lot of issues in a piecemeal manner. But nowadays, actually, we have a collective effort that the world has been doing in the past decades, especially after the United Nations has been formed in 1945, because we were talking about human rights. But actually, we are not just talking about human rights, we are talking about human rights and responsibilities. So that's why the world that we are in, we have many global institutions which are performing in such a way that guided us in moving in a collective effort, with a collective effort in doing good. There will be global standards, policies, that we also have the measurements of it. So you can see there's a lot of new policies being established, especially when we talk about the green growth. I would like to update you that in 2023, actually, there are 2 new initiatives that have been launched. One is the Asia-Pacific Green Deal initiative, which was initiated by the United Nations Commission for Asia and Pacific region. The other one is the ASEAN Green Deal initiative, which was launched by the former ASEAN chairman, Cambodian Prime Minister Hun Sen. So this is very important. These new initiatives have spelled out the way how we are going to do our business in the future. So we learned a lot. There are all very robust invention. We have a lot of new inventions in the past decades, which has helped us to go for industrialization. And certainly with the digital economy, where we have this Web 3.0, the generative AI, all these blockchains, all these technologies has helped us to go green in a much faster pace and think beyond what you can do, because the technology has been helping us to reshape our economy. So that's why we have a new world order, and the Asia era has come. So we all have to understand what we can do in the Asia-Pacific region, especially in the ASEAN country, where we are moving forward together by learning from each other, because there are many successful business models which we can learn, from each other. So that's why there are also many new institutions where they are helping each other by learning from each other. And also the most important thing is about having all these different countries the government are pushing forward new policies to enhance that green economy and green digital economy as a whole. So my point of view is like the world is changing, although people are talking about globalization and also deglobalization, but I think the globalization trend cannot be reversed. So we need to think forward. We need to be visionary leaders. I'm sure every one of you here attending this forum are leaders, but certainly leaders also need vision. So visionary leaders are what we ought to be, because we need new ideas to move forward. As I said, my sharing with you all is that there are a lot of things coming up because many of the new industry has emerged and people are working together around the world. There are many successful cases, not only in China, but also around the world, in ASEAN, even in Malaysia, where I see like the Sarawak and also Penang has been the upcoming, has been doing very, very well in going green. Though there are a lot of places that we can learn from each other, but the most important thing is to think collectively and have a vision. There's a movement which I think is going on. There's a green movement around the world where we want to do good, not just to solve the problem of global warming, climate change. But because of global warming or the climate change, we need to have a new way of doing business in a responsible way. That's why the best practices, we need to have the best practices to be followed. And also there are new rules and regulations which the governments will be implementing around the world. So just now I mentioned about this Asia-Pacific Green Deal or the ASEAN Green Deal. Please participate into it, because this will give you the vision of how to move forward. And mind you that things are changing. The way how we do business are changing too, because we need to work together. So from the government to the business sector or the NGO, now everybody is working together to solve the problem. So we don't have time to waste, because it is too luxurious to waste time, and we don't have that much time, especially against this climate change. So my view is that there are a lot of new invention. We are not lacking of new intention or new technology. It's only about the application that we make to make it happen. Okay, because application for doing good, for doing business on an economy with an economy of scale, and this is what we can do. And I believe this is happening to the whole wide world. Thank you.
Thank you, Albert. You were emphasizing correctly on collective efforts and working together, and that's the only thing that we have to do. As I was emphasizing in my opening, that harmony is what we need, and that is what you correctly said, that we need collective effort to move forward, to undo the damages that we have been doing all over this time, and time is running out. Thank you. Next, we'll call upon our second speaker, who is representing the SME, Mr. Chin Chi Siong. I know SMEs have a big challenge when it comes to going green and working on things. Maybe we can share your thoughts on this.
Thank you, Dr. Sri. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. First thing I would say, we are here very much because of we love the world. We love the green, and what Albert was saying just now, that we have to put our step forward in moving towards getting not only the peoples, as well as the corporation. And for the fact that today we're talking about 50 years, collaboration, also partnership with China. And for SMEs as a whole, I always like to look at the SME perspective, right? Today we're talking about green tech in the green growth area, in coupled with the digital economy. So both things have to come together at this juncture of time. And then for us, as a Malaysian SME, we define our SME, which is so much lower than the definition of SME in China. And we do hope that, with this collaboration with, I would say, the China Taikor, that can bring us forward, in terms of expediting our implementation, in terms of getting our corporation or our enterprise to seriously look into how to grow, not only the country, the companies as well as a whole for the good of the nation. Right, I would like to say that Malaysia and China, in fact, have a lot of potential in terms of collaboration in such sector. Not so much because they are near, and not so much because our culture is quite similar, but we have long-term relationship way before our Tun Razak brought us into the first signing agreement with the Chinese government. And from here, we can see that today we are glad that many corporations from China, especially like Huawei, they have moved their Asia Pacific office into Malaysia, which is a very good thing for us. We need that. This is part of the initiative. Of course, we have BYD as well, not only Huawei. There are many other corporations. And today, this is where we have to look into how can we cooperate with them in terms of the supply chain side, especially on the SME role here. So for what we want, number one, from this collaboration is we hope that China, through the enterprise or even through the government agency, can do some technology transfer. Technology transfer in terms of green tech. Today, China has been the forefront of EV technology, right? They have the numbers of car, this surpassing Tesla or any other country. So by learning from them, by BYD here also, in fact, leapfrogged our so-called initiative into getting into green growth. Likewise, on this, the other part of it, beside you have all this technology advancement, we have also look at the circular economy. How can we use the waste? How can we don't waste any green product, and then make sure carbon neutrality to be achieved by the year 2050 for Malaysia? And those are the things that, like what Albert was saying just now, we cannot wait. You have to start, as soon as we can, right? Besides that, for the SME, like I mentioned just now, the green supply chain is key, right? In fact, lately I have been received a lot of our members have been complaining they couldn't get deals because they do not have green or even ESG compliances in the organization. Just a small little SDG compliance or ESG compliance, they lost a project to supply to the multinational. So this thing is here. The thing is here for the SME to really look into how you can transform your company and follow the flow of the global economy, right? And on the digital economy side, for both Malaysia and China, we hope that we can improve in terms of the e-commerce collaboration. Not so much on collaboration alone, we want the fair collaboration between both countries, whereby our product can easily free flow. Though we have RCEP and the CPTPP, they're in place, but I think we still have a lot of challenges which we face. So I urge both sides, in fact, via MCBC, Malaysia-China Business Council, we have a good relationship to build with the government agency of China. Let's look into how can we help the corporation, even especially the SMEs, in terms of cross-border trade and also cross-border e-commerce sales, right? There again, I say, as SMEs, even Malaysia is a small country, we need a lot of governmental support, especially the SMEs Malaysia, where we just came out from our COVID not long ago. And even the past 6 months or past 8 months, for that matter, the businesses was suffering. The SME are really suffering, and they are also looking into other ways to increase their sales or also embark into new technology, especially the green tech side. So, but we need not only incentive from both Malaysian government, we also need some incentive probably with the cooperation between Malaysia and China. You see, by working together, SMEs in Malaysia will become, interchange or even a supply chain for most of the corporations who have been here from China. I know there are big corporate come here, but there are also many SMEs from China, they are here. So we need probably a lot of joint partnership to look into both green tech growth, especially on the digital economy side. Then I would believe that by doing this, by focusing on these two areas, we will benefit both countries. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chin. Certainly, of course, collaboration with China and some of the big industries which are coming to establish in Malaysia, I think the SMEs can be part of the supply chain. And also, we can seek their guidance to how to move into more ESG compliance, so that I know it's a big challenge for small SMEs to comply fully with the ESG requirements, but we have to make a start. And I think with the help of Chinese big corporations, we can develop that kind of a relationship for a circular economy. Thank you. Now, the third speaker is Mr. Liu from BYD, and as I said, we will also give him extra time for the interpretation. And yes, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Eddie. 这个在正式发言之前，我想问大家一个问题。
Before I deliver the official address, I would like to ask you a question.
今天有多少朋友是乘电动车来到这个会场的？
I'm wondering how many of you ride an EV to come here?
啊，几乎没有。
Almost zero, no hands up.
OK，首先感谢主办方的邀请，今天能够代表比亚迪来到吉隆坡，和大家分享一下比亚迪关于电动车、关于由新能源引领绿色经济的一些思考。
First of all, I would like to extend my warmest gratitude to the organizer for inviting me being here today. On behalf of BYD, I'm very honored to have this opportunity to share the story of BYD with electric vehicles, new energies, and the green growth.
那么比亚迪呢？我们在1995年，我们在中国深圳开始研发生产2次充电电池。
BYD, established in 1995, we started our business from producing rechargeable batteries.
那么过去的30年里，我们秉承技术为王、创新为本的企业理念，致力于绿色经济的发展，致力于通过技术让世界上所有消费者的生活更加美好。
Over the past 30 years, with the philosophy of technology-based, innovation-oriented, BYD has always been dedicated to develop green economy, to use our technology innovations for better life of all human beings.
那么今天大家对比亚迪的关注，我想大多都聚焦在了电动车上。
I believe today, when we look at the global market, most of people pay attention to BYD because of the EV development.
其实早在2008年，比亚迪就已经完成了从生产再生能源、储能和使用能源的全产业链的布局。
Actually, back to 2008, BYD already finished the whole layout of the new energy, about renewable energy and also the rechargeable battery energy, etc.
同时的话呢，我们在2016年，我们提出了为地球降温1度的绿色使命。
In the meantime, back to 2016, we have brought out our mission to decrease the Earth by 1 Celsius degree.
那么就在2022年，作为汽车品牌，我们第一家宣布停止生产燃油车。
Also, in 2022, as the first auto brand, we announced that we would stop the production of traditional gasoline vehicles.
那么呢，承蒙全球消费者的支持，比亚迪我们在去年实现了新能源汽车超过300万台的销售。
Thanks to all the support of all BYD global users, in 2023, our sales volume exceeded 2 million units.
那么也是第一个实现新能源汽车累积700万台的汽车品牌。
We are also the first auto brand with the accumulative sales volume of new energy vehicles over 7 million units.
那么其实截止到上个月，比亚迪全球新能源车主累计行驶里程超过了1992亿公里。
Up till to last month, the whole driving mileage that the BYD global uses have been a lot of kilometers.
那么为地球减排5511万公斤。
And
51万
also
吨 对
we have decreased the carbon neutrality about 5 billion kilograms.
那么相当于呢，为地球种上了9.1亿棵树木。
Which is equivalent to about 900 billion trees that we have planted.
那么这些数字的背后，其实说明了人类现在所面临的所有的问题，最后都指向了一个方向，那就是新能源。
Actually, behind all of these figures, these data, the direction is very clear, which is the development of new energy.
同时，电动车的发展，它已经不仅仅将传统汽车发生了一次变革，更重要的是，电动车引领了全球新的绿色经济产业发展。
And also, the transformation and development of EVs doesn't only change the traditional development of ICE cars, but also has the new green growth of the economy of the global world.
其实大家知道，电动车它已经不是单纯的代步工具，它是承载我们所有消费者在接下来生活中的一个全新平台。
As we all know, actually nowadays, electric vehicles, they're not just a simple commuting tools, but actually they have created a brand new lifestyle platform for all users.
其实大家可以看到，每一天在我们这个地球上都发生了很多的自然灾害。
I believe you all noticed that there are many natural disasters happening around the world.
在去年圣诞节前夕，在澳大利亚的黄金海岸发生了一场突如其来的暴风雨。那么这场暴风雨让这个城市突然间没有了电源。
Last year, before the Christmas Eve, at the Gold Coast of Brisbane in Australia, there was a huge storm. And because of this storm, the whole city was shut out of electricity.
那么比亚迪的电动车的车主用比亚迪的电动车给他自己孩子的透析机供电，拯救了生命。
And our BYD owners have provided our BYD cars for the electricity of the dialysis machine to help save the life of the kids.
像这种事情，很多比亚迪的车主在全球都有通过视频向大家展示。
Actually, for a lot of stories like these, many of our BYD owners, they have shared on the social media.
其实每看到这个时候，我们都感受到了电动车，特别是承载着今天技术的载体，那个时候已经不是交通工具了，是人类战胜自然灾害的希望。
Every time when I see news and also stories like these, I truly feel that electric vehicles nowadays, they're not just the carrier of technology development, but also the hope for human beings to fight against natural disasters.
其实今天我们欣喜地看到，电动车的发展呢，已经是大势所趋。
We are very thrilled to find out that the electric cars development is inevitable.
那么它的发展已经不局限于将传统燃油车进行一次变革，更重要的是，它让很多产业发生了质的变化，在任何一个国家和地区都带来了很多全新的经济发展趋势。
So the development of electric cars nowadays is not just a simple transformation from traditional ICE cars to electric vehicles, but actually it has created profound change to a lot of new industries in every market and provide new opportunities for the economic growth.
那么回到马来西亚，也可以给大家分享一下比亚迪在马来西亚在过去1年里的表现。
Now we are here in Malaysia. I would like to share the achievements that we have made here in Malaysia.
那么我们在2022年底的时候，正式的将比亚迪的电动车带到了马来西亚。
At the end of 2022, we brought our BYD vehicles to Malaysian market.
那么在过去的1年里，我们承蒙马来西亚政府的一些政策指引，广大经销商合作朋友的努力，特别是马来西亚消费者对电动车拥抱的速度，其实让我们看到了今天马来西亚绿色的经济的发展。
Over the past 1 year, due to the support from the government and also our dealer partners, especially thanks to the support from our BYD users, especially the very swift speed they have for accepting electric cars, we're very excited to see that the green economy is growing very rapidly in Malaysia.
特别是在2023年，比亚迪作为一个全新品牌，我们用了1年的时间，占领了在马来西亚当年电动车销量的40%以上的份额。
Especially worth to mention that in 2003, BYD, with only one single model, as a completely new brand, we have occupied over 40% of the market share of the electric cars.
那么今天比亚迪在马来西亚的订单也超过了1万台。
Till today, our orders in Malaysia already exceeded 10,000 units.
那么这些数字的背后，不仅仅是说明比亚迪的产品和技术得到了广大马来西亚消费者的认可，更重要的是，很多的消费者们通过电动车了解、认识到了接下来的经济发展方向。
This figure doesn't only show the recognition from the BYD consumers to its products and technology. What's more important is that a lot of consumers have acknowledged the green development growth.
那么我们觉得，大家今天在讨论绿色经济、低碳的经济发展，我想呢，今天的技术已经有充分的准备。接下来我们还是希望大家通过实际的行动，不管是电动车也好，电动它是一个平台，在这个平台上可以搭载任何一种技术、任何一种想法、任何一种生活方式。
So, because today we're talking about the green growth of the whole world, and not only actually our EVs is about the technology, we hope that everyone can use true action, your practical action, to be a participant of this movement. EVs are a platform. On this platform, we can realize all new technologies and all ideas from everyone.
所以说今天借此机会，在这里进行倡议，希望大家可以试驾电动车，通过电动车感受一下这个社会会发生很大的变化，因为电动车的数量增多，我们所生活的环境、空气一定会越来越好，这些都是为我们子孙后代留下的福分。
So today, I would like to take this precious opportunity to make a call to invite all of you to have a test drive on EVs to personally experience it. Only after experience it, you can see the possibility that EVs can bring to the society change, and you can see that the contribution EVs can bring to the global climate and also the benefits we can leave to our next generations.
那么比亚迪也非常愿意和广大的企业家朋友们，一起去分享、去参与我们共同的这种绿色经济建设，同时也借此机会，诚挚的邀请在座的所有嘉宾朋友有机会来中国、来深圳、来比亚迪看一看。
So I would like to invite all of the entrepreneurs to join this green economy construction together with BYD, and hopefully in future, if there's any chance, we sincerely invite you to go visit China, visit Shenzhen, and visit BYD headquarters.
谢谢。
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Liu. Certainly, of course, you are now in the highest rank of clean energy, So EVs, you made a shocking question by asking how many drove EV this morning, and there were hardly very few people, or none at all, because unfortunately, how EV started in Malaysia is as a luxury brand. You know, BMWs and Volvos, they have introduced the EV. And now that BYD has come into the market last 1 or 2 years, maybe next year when you have a conference here, you will see more hands rising with BYD. And we hope that the BYD will be able to also contribute to the technology in Malaysia by supporting the SME sector here and bringing some of your technical partners to collaborate with Malaysian entrepreneurs. Thank you. Okay, next we are going to hear Mr. Sachin Sharma. He is a co-founder and chief product officer of ODEX. You will notice that to my right are the people who are involved in corporations which are doing the green growth and green technology. Actually, they are the corporation representatives. And to my left are the technical providers of those kind of green growth that we are aspiring to have. Yeah? And yes, Sachin.
Thank you. Can everyone hear me? Thank you, and let me first start by thanking China Daily for inviting me to this August forum. I'm very excited to be amongst thought leaders, policymakers, and industry leaders who are actually driving the change on green adoption and the digital economy. I am Sachin Sharma. I am the co-founder of ODEX, which is a financial services technology company incubated within Standard Chartered Ventures. Our mission is to rapidly help financial institutions digitize and participate in the future business models that are emerging around us in this new economy, in the new digital age. I'm also very excited to be in Asia at this time, and particularly in Southeast Asia, which is seeing a tremendous growth in digital adoption, primarily, one, because of a young demographic population, which is extremely tech savvy. Two, because of prudent government policy and investments into digital infrastructure. Three, because some incredible innovation which enterprises have done on e-commerce, on ride-hailing technologies, on AI. And four, perhaps if anything good has come out of the terrible COVID-19 pandemic, is probably digital adoption, which has really seen a spike over the 2 years of COVID-19. Especially on e-commerce, this region has seen some unprecedented growth. By some estimates, since 2016, the region has been growing at 30% compounded annual growth rate of just e-commerce sales. In some countries, it has reached almost 10% of all retail sales, which is an incredible number. And I think by a recent study that Google and Temasek conducted, by 2026, the total gross merchandise value in Southeast Asia of e-commerce and digital sales is going to cross $250 billion, which is really a staggering number. But with all this change and digital adoption, there are some challenges which still remain. One is that largely Southeast Asia is still in a developing mode. And this is where the lessons that we can learn from China become really important, which has really been a role model for economic growth over the last 25 to 30 years. So investments into physical and digital infrastructure need to continue. The policy makers have an enviable or difficult task of navigating the changes, of driving sustainable growth as well as adopt new technology. And at this point, I would like to segue back into how Dato Seri Dr. Razak very aptly opened this forum by saying that there is a need for harmony. Because with any significant digital technologies or new technologies being introduced, there are always two sides to it. For instance, e-commerce is great, but how does it really impact the small sellers, your local sellers, which have been a backbone of the community retail infrastructure? How does it really impact SMEs, which are now looking to grow, but do they have the competitive means to grow with the rise of this e-commerce? AI technology, again, is great, and there have been some astonishing developments in AI in the last 12 to 24 months. And the improvement in AI is even more astonishing. We were all surprised by ChatGPT coming out with a large language model last year. But within 6 months of that, all of the major corporations, whether it is Meta or whether it is Google, came up with their own language models, which are really a glimpse into the future of automation. Now, if automation is happening, it is a good thing, but which jobs are going to get automated and how quickly that automation is going to happen is an important question to ask at this point of time. How does it really impact the society? It's an important question to ask at this point of time. Again, coming back to financial services and financial innovation, there has been some tremendous strides that we have seen across this sector. Big tech has made a big play into financial services with offering, starting with payments, but now also offering deposits and lending in a big way. Fintechs have emerged across the region, but how does this really impact the established financial institutions, which really form the backbone of a regulated financial ecosystem? Audax is a company which was born in this environment and which in some ways is playing the role of a harmony agent, if I again have to borrow the theme from Dr. Razak, which is how do financial institutions, which are regulated, which are extremely important for a good sustainable controlled growth, work with these new players in the digital economy? How do they embed their services where the customers now are, whether it's on e-commerce, whether it's on ride-hailing, whether it's on social media, improve the experiences for the customers, but at the same time continue to be the responsible parties, the regulated parties, which are shaping the economy? How do financial institutions now work with e-commerce and SMEs to ensure that SMEs have the right tools that they need to grow and to develop? So that is the role that we are looking to play, starting with Southeast Asia. I am very keen on learning and understanding more on how the policymakers, the industry leaders, and the various different institutions which are represented in this forum can work together in a harmonious way to progress net positive for the society and least disruption of harmony. Thank you.
Thank you, Sachin, for your short but impactful presentation. I think the digital economy has been very much helpful to small business people. You know, the payment channel is one of the critical things. Most people you see now, they pay through the payment channels. Nobody gives cash. And even Bank Negara, every year during the Ramadan and the Hari Raya season, they give new notes for Ang Pao. And this year, they stopped giving new notes. because they don't want to increase the currencies, issuing new currencies for the season to sort of comply with the ESG, to reduce paper circulation. And I think we also, Bank Negara in its wisdom has issued 5 new licenses for digital banks. And all of these digital banks are only to cater to the small micro business people, SMEs and all that, not to the big corporations. So in this way, we are also helping to develop the SMEs in the digital economy. Thank you for your presentation. And next, we will hear from Professor Major Dr. Engineer Chin Yu Sin, who is the President of Global BRI Strategy Research Center.
Thank you very much, Datuk Seri. Malaysia and China established diplomatic relationship in 1974, 50 years ago. The time Malaysia was an agricultural country, producing these tin, these rubbers, and these what I call palm oil. Whereas China, in 1974, the time China GDP only about this what I call the GDP per capita is only about few hundred USD. So the time they're not even opened up yet. China was opened up in 1978 with this reformation also. So that's why after 50 years, we have to review each country, what sort of thing they have achieved. Malaysia, after 50 years, we are no more this what I call only a commodities producing country. We have this manufacturing industry also, especially our electronic and electrical industry are doing very well. So our semiconductor production consists about 7% of the whole world production. Recently, Malaysia going to have this what I call integrated circuit design park at the Puchong area. So this one will make Malaysia not only a back-end manufacturing country, we will sort of pull our value chains to become what I call this design, this is ODM. ODM, this is own design manufacturer. But right now, we're still the OEM. OEM is the own equipment manufacturer. We only produce a thing as per requirement from our foreign investors, especially in Benin. So that's why look at China. China now is the second largest economy in the world. And in terms of this digital economy, they are also number 2, just behind USA. But China got 2 things really beat this USA far behind. One is the e-commerce, another one is the digital payment. Digital payment, everybody know that through this Alipay, this WeChat payment, all these things. So China is very popular without having to carry any cash to go out. Even the last time I went to China at this Hunan, this area. So I want to buy a sausage. They just give me the what I call QR code. I cannot pay cash also. They don't accept cash also. That's why you see how advanced is China. That's why in this sense, Malaysia got a lot to learn from China. Because China, actually, many people don't know that China is very advanced in technology. That's why I talk about BYD. BYD is number 1 seller in the world for this EV, electrical vehicles. It's already outbid this what I call Tesla. Tesla also cannot compete in China at all because their price is too expensive. And that thing also not much features. Just they want to sell through their blending. But China, very good technologies and very cost effective also. That's why now BYD can sell over except US. US because Tesla cannot compete. They use the what called national security barrier to prevent BYD to come to this US market, and then this Huawei also, they don't allow Huawei to go into this US market. As you can see, this US is already losing grounds already. That's why they have to use this underhand tactics to prevent people from selling their product in their own country. Whereas their product can sell all over the world. Tesla, China never prevent Tesla go into China market. They never prevent Apple to go into China market. So that's why you can see China actually is very advanced in technology. Many people might not know. Actually, China's, I would say, in many areas, China's already outbid this US. You talk about Huawei, 5.5G. Now, US still at the 5G level only. China is going to develop 6G later on. So they are very advanced. I talk about the Beidou navigation. It's more advanced than the GPS system. So that's why Malaysia got a lot to learn from this what called China in terms of e-commerce and digital payment. Because if you want to achieve faster growth in our economics, we have to rely very much on this digital technology. Because digital technology such as the AI, so many other things like this blockchain, all these things, you can really speed up the development of a country. Because last time we used to, how to develop a country, we go by the natural way of what? 4 eyes, imitation. You try to copy from other people, become a copycat. Then later on, you go for improvement. Then after that, you go for innovation. And then the latest, the final part is invention. But now with the AI, or with this called the availability of digital technologies, a lot of technology we can just buy from China. No? Then we can speed up our development process. We don't have to go by the step-by-step kind of development. Last time, this industry process, like what Japan has gone through, they'll go through the 4 eyes process. Many other developed countries also go through. But nowadays, a developing country, if they know how to apply all these digital technologies, their economic development can be very fast. That's like in Malaysia now. Everybody need to digitize. If they don't digitize, they will die. So either you digitize or die, because they know that by digitization, you can improve the competitiveness of a company. If not, then this company just cannot compete with other companies. Then they cannot survive in the market. So that's why, come to this digitization, China is very advanced. You see, they got this robot restaurant, they got robot, this is what I call supermarket. Even taxi, unmanned taxi, everything they go by digitization. So that's why you want to advance, you need to go for digitization. If not, you will be phased out. Another thing he's talking about this morning, this chairman talking about how this digital technology fit in with the green technologies. Actually, to me, it's a perfect fit. Because you know why? Because after this digital technology, now it's called digital economics. I think in 5 to 10 years' time, it will switch to the green economic. Green economic is you're talking about what? You're talking about using solar panels, using electric vehicles, using this ocean power, using this what I call the wind power, all these things to generate power, energy. So this one is all clean. One thing good about green technology is that before that, all the what I call this production economy, you talk about this knowledge economy, you talk about this information economy, all these things. You only more concerned about the economic growth of a country. You don't concern so much about the environmental protection. When you come to this green economy, you have to give equal emphasis on the sustainability of the environment. That means you are concerned with the economic growth of your company as well as environmental protection. Because without the environment, just like without a boat like that, everybody will sink. Just like if the earth cannot survive, you can make a lot of money, also no meaning, true or not? That's why you want to make money in a sustainable way, you have to protect your environment. That's why China, now they very, very put all the effort into this green energy. Because President Xi Jinping in 2020, he made a pledge in the United Nations that China will achieve carbon neutrality in 2060. That's why after that, he really encouraged BYD to go for electric vehicles. Not only BYD, China got many other EV, like Changcheng, all this, Great Wall, many others, vehicles. That's why China, one thing good about them is that their companies compete with each other. What you call the internal evolution. Chinese word called the 内卷. Their internal competition is so keen that no other company can compete with them from these other countries like Tesla, all these things. And this even this handphone also. Handphone, you not only got the Huawei, you got Xiaomi, and then you got Oppo, Vivo, so many other things. They all compete with each other very fiercely. You can win in the Chinese market, you can win in the whole world already. Because Chinese market is so huge and their geographical location is so diverse. So you can from one country like Hainan, like our weather, you go to the what I call Hubei, this Dongbei, the northeastern part, is so cold. And then you got a desert also. So I think China, the whole geography is more like the whole world kind of environment also. That's why BYD can compete very well because of even under 30 degrees, their battery still can survive. But Tesla, if below 10 degrees, already cannot function already. So that's why you see why China can do so well, partly because of the Chinese people always thinking of what 自强不息, always try to learn something and never give up, never sort of less on his own laurels. That's why you can see Apple actually now can compete already because Apple, they don't have features because the Bureau 70, the Huawei, the couple of new features is like AI, incorporated AI feature. This is the only one in the world. So that's why US don't even allow this Huawei to enter their market because Huawei is allowed to enter US market, the whole market will finish, man. Will be all sabu by this, or all captured by this Huawei. That's why you can see, that's why Malaysia, we have to learn from China how China can do it. Actually, China, the success formula of China is two things only. Building infrastructure to the prosperity. Second thing is make full use of digital technologies. Now is the green technology to make the country more advanced. That's why Malaysia, we have to learn two things. We have to cooperate with China to build more infrastructure to make our country more competitive so that we can attract more foreign investors to come to Malaysia. Second thing, we have to adopt all the companies, whether you like it or not, you have to adopt digital technologies. And later on, green technologies. If not, you cannot survive in the market. Time is up already. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Dato' Jin. I think you touched on the political issues between US and China. For more than 100 years, I think, because US was the undisputed leader, now it's very difficult for them to accept that China is catching up with them. And therefore, it is more of a psychological issue between the two countries than the technological problem. If they allow the collaboration that we were speaking about earlier, if only China and US were to collaborate in a friendly way, then the whole world will be a much better place to live in, sharing the technological advancement of both countries. Thank you. Now we will move to Matthew Chen, who is the CEO of One Connect Financial Technology, which is part of Ping An, which is the world's largest financial company, I think. Am I right? Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, we at Ping An, we quite serious about ESG. We take social responsibility to the heart. I mean, if you read about our certification ESG, you got ESG written all over. All right, so this is really the topic today. For those of you who don't really know us that well, so we a 27 companies group under the Ping An banner. So we organize into 3 pillars. The largest one, most of you probably heard of, it's called insurance, Ping An Insurance. Ping An Insurance probably is the largest insurance company in the world now. We do both, life and non-life. Mr. Liu, I don't know whether you know that most of the BYD owners are insured with Ping An Insurance in China. So we also have a bank. So it's Ping An Bank. The Ping An Bank today is actually a merge of 2 banks. That there is the original Ping An Bank, but there's also a bank that really, witnessed the whole China's transformation over the past 50 years. It's a bank called Shenzhen Development Bank. You all know that Shenzhen is the Silicon Valley now for China, but some 45 years ago, when China first announced the so-called open door policy, Shenzhen was just a fishing village, right? So one of the biggest vision at the time that the Premier Deng Xiaoping is to turn China into the world factory today. So, we need a policy bank to basically finance a lot of SMEs that involving exporting business out of China to the rest of the world. And that bank was the Shenzhen Development Bank. So at the peak, 80% of the SMEs that involving exporting business financed by Shenzhen Development Bank. Now, Shenzhen Development Bank is no longer existing in China, so Shenzhen Development Bank actually were acquired by Ping An Group. So the Ping An Bank today is actually a merge of those two banks, right? So we are serving 130 million customers in China. A lot of them are SMEs, right? So a lot of them are involving trading with this country. And the third pillar, which is the pillar I belong to, is a technology pillar, right? So basically, my mandate is to commercialize all the technology that we utilize either by the insurance arm, so InsurTech, and also the, the fintech for the bank, right? So that's what I do. So there are actually three things I would like to share with you that we are trying to achieve in this beautiful country, in ASEAN in general. Number one is, I like to call it a digital trade corridor, right? So it's in the vein of the so-called Belt Road Initiative, because given our DNA, I mentioned Shenzhen Development Bank, because most of the SME, trade finance, lending platforms, supply chain finance, all of that are pretty much built by us. So we are trying to expand that out of China, follow the Belt Road Initiative to basically build a cross-border trade platform, right? A digital trade corridor. So we have already successfully built a few outside of mainland China. The first one being in Hong Kong. So it's actually one of the initiatives by Hong Kong Monetary Authority. So we actually built a digital bank in Hong Kong. As some of you know, there's digital banks in Malaysia, but Hong Kong MA is probably the first regulator in this part of the world that issued, the first batch of 8 digital banking licenses, right? So we got Ping An One Connect is actually one of the 8. But unlike the other 7 that are all involving retail, we are the only one that involves in SME. So we target at 100,000 SMEs that in Hong Kong that involve in cross-border trade. So basically what they do is they buy from mainland China and they sell it to the rest of the world, including Malaysia, right? And as we actually realized there's a quite big chunk of that SMEs, they never borrowed before from any banks in Hong Kong. Although a lot of people might be surprised because Hong Kong is very much overbanked, right? But there's quite a large number of SME, they never borrowed before. So if you run any credit report, TransUnion, whatever, you will not get anything out of them, right? So they can't get a loan from a normal bank. So we decided to lend to them. And how? So data is the key. So what we did is actually we built a platform on top of TradeLink. So TradeLink is almost like the national single window for Malaysia, for lack of better comparison. So basically we tap into the custom data. For example, a simple form like the custom declaration form, it contains so much relevant information. So we'll be able to know, although this SME never borrowed before, but they have very good track record, right? So they're constantly buying from mainland China, from their suppliers in China, and sell it to the rest of the world, right? Their customers. So you'll be able, it's a typical supply chain finance using data, using AI technologies, using big data to massage the data, right? So we'll be able to come up with our own so-called alternative credit scoring, and without even asking for a financial statement, because a lot of these SME don't keep proper records, we'll be able to lend to them. I mean, if you can look up, all of the 8 banks in Hong Kong, the digital banks, the financial performance information are all public information. You can look us up. So the Ping An One Connect Bank operating for 5 years, our non-performing ratio is less than 1%, right? For people that never borrowed before. So more than a quarter of our customers, they never borrowed before in Hong Kong. And then we went down to that, right? So we also, we built a SME lending platform with IMDA in Singapore. It's called One SME. So it's a similar kind of idea, right? So trying to foster the cross-border trade between Singapore and mainland China, right? That platform actually eventually was sold to Temasek. And then a couple of years ago, we built another one in UAE with another regulator. It's called Abu Dhabi Global Market. So a similar kind of thing, trying to matchmaking the SMEs that would not otherwise get a loan from a normal, UAE banks that are trading with China, trying to get them a loan that they should, right? So we have built quite a few of those platforms using technology. So that's the first thing we like to achieve in Malaysia, because we have not built one in Malaysia yet. We have built one in Philippines, but not in Malaysia, right? So that's the first thing we're trying to achieve, building a digital trade corridor. So Mr. Chin, if you're interested, I know you're running the SME, we can talk offline. So second thing we're trying to achieve, trying to help the SMEs in Malaysia is by cross-border data sharing. Cross-border data sharing is a very big thing because we run a couple of bureau services in China. So basically we can check any companies or individual out in China. So let's say if a SME in Malaysia, they are doing or trading or thinking about trading with China, so we can check out their counterpart in China thoroughly. So basically because we are a licensed, we have a licensed bureau service, so we can basically take a dump of the company registry and using algorithm, using AI, all of that to massage data to make sure that their business is really legit and all of that. So we can do a lot to actually understand the business and to help even helping if they want to trade they're trying to find out potential suppliers or sellers, or customers in China. We can also do a lot of so-called matchmaking. Because over the years, we also, same as ChatGPT, OpenAI was obviously very popular. We actually started our own large language model 5 years ago, exactly the same time as OpenAI. So we developed our own, we call it Ping An GPT. So it's almost like just a little app, just like ChatGPT. You can ask the Ping An GPT any questions. They say, I'm doing cosmetics. I want to sell cosmetics. I'm a Malaysian company, right, to China. So you can give me all the cosmetic companies in China. So basically, and then they will come back, slides, dice, all of that information. It's called Ping An GPT. So again, if you're interested, Mr. Ching, we can have a chat afterwards. So all of that using AI, large language models, and blockchain. Blockchain is very interesting because we're talking about green, right? So and I also want to develop what I call a digital halal trade corridor. Because using blockchain, you can actually trade. You can trace a product. Let's say you are importing something from China, a handbag. How do you make sure it's halal, right? Using blockchain technology, you can actually trace all the way down to the very, very source, the basic ingredients, making sure it's clean, it's halal, right? So all of that, with help of blockchain, AI, we can help. And also making sure we can do like a green scoring, right? For the company in the whole chain, supply chain, making sure they are good, right? They are legit, right? So that data sharing, I think it's some of the unique, I guess, value proposition that we can bring to the table because it's all about data, right? With all the technology, if we data, there's no data is the future oil. So we can help basically any SMEs in Malaysia to tap into Chinese data, to tap into companies and individual. Well, why I mention individual? Although there's privacy and everything, right? But although people don't think there's a privacy in China, but there is, right? Because in China, it doesn't matter how large or small a company is. We have a concept we call legal representative. So even if a large listed company, you will all be able to pin down to one legal representative. Why that's important? Because if there's finding of, let's say, criminal behaviors, right? If the company go bust because of the criminal behavior, so that person, it has unlimited liability. Also, although the company has limited liability, so that's important. Because imagine, obviously, I see an influx of wealthy Chinese nationals, over the past couple of years because of COVID, flooding to Singapore, Malaysia, all over the place, Thailand. They might try to behave, right? They're trying to set up a shop, doing everything hunky-dory here in Malaysia. But how do you know they run some shady business in China? So that's important, right? So the ultimate beneficiary, again, this data that we have access to in China can help, right? So technology, of course. So the platform with the data sharing plus technology are the three things we are trying to bring to the table to help SMEs that trading with China, hopefully win this so-called fierce competition. I'll stop here. Thank you.
Thank you, Matthew. I've personally visited and seen how much you can contribute to the SME, and it will be best if you and Mr. Chin Chi Seong can sit together to see how collaboration can be made between them. Now we come to our last speaker. I know we have overrun a little bit, but to be fair, we have to give 6 minutes to our last speaker, Alex from Huawei APEC region. Thank you.
Okay. I'm Alex from Huawei. It's a long panel, so I standing for you, keep you fresh. Okay. So first of all, thanks for China Daily inviting me for this event and together with all the panelists. So before my starting, I would say Harmony, you all right? So what's Harmony? We have a Harmony OS in the Huawei smartphone. But it's also in my watch. It's also in my glasses. And also in my bag, my pad, my laptop. And if I'm in China, it's also in my vehicles, electric vehicle. So what does it mean? It's no longer separated devices. With our Harmony OS, it's already becoming the single devices across different hardware. So this means that digital technology has significantly changed our life. Maybe you are not aware of it. But someday, when it come to your face, you'll be shocked. So we must be prepared for this kind of dynamic changing technology. Huawei is a tech. Our vision and mission is to bring digital to every person, home, and organization for a fully connected world. And we do business in around 170 countries and regions around the world. And we always say we want to contribute to the local market. So Huawei in Malaysia, we will for Malaysia. So what we have done, what can we share with all you? The first one is that we bring the connectivities here. So the 2G, the 3G, the 4G. And also we see that in 5 years ago, there's still 20% of person in Malaysia is not connected to the internet. But right now, it's significantly reduced, almost 80% less. And that's because we bring a lot of good network here. But it's no longer only the connectivity, it's about the digital. So right now, we are providing more IT solutions, digital platforms, cloud computing, AI solutions, all the things. So right now in Malaysia, we have more than 1,000 partners. So you may be our partner also. So we provide platform for finance, for agriculture, for tourists, for education, for Medicare. So I believe that, in a not long term, every single industry, every business you do here, every ladies and gentlemen here, you will see how digital will change. So what we can do is that we know in this era, just like the consumer time smartphone, is a single devices across the world. Every industry in local market must have your own application. So you need to utilize your digital technology to transfer your own business. But you also need some big data, cloud computing, AI support. So we also want to support you to utilize Huawei technology, Huawei cloud solution, Huawei IT solution, Huawei 5G to empowering your business. So we open our platform because we know that we will not targeting this application part and data part. We will targeting our technology part provided by best-in-class one. So we invite you to be our partner, not only for distribution, sales, also for solution implementation and application for every different industries. And beyond that, the digital skills and talent is a big gap. Previously, if you see that in a smart internet, if you have it, a smartphone, a network, you will have it all. It's the same around. But in Malaysia, in future, it will be different. There must be something unique for Malaysia. You cannot simply just utilize what is developed in China, in Singapore, and put it in here, because every single business is different. So you must fit in this different. Then Huawei is providing a lot of talent program. We provide the Future Seas program for high school. So if you have your children in high school, you can use our Seas for the Future program to broaden their visions, eyes, and to set a long vision. And also we have an ICT Academy So it is for undergraduates. If you have a friend is a professor or who own a private university, come to us, cooperate. We can bring you the network, computing, AI, cloud tracks, and also a lot of innovations. We already cultivated 40,000 talents in Malaysia in the past 5 years. So come to us and to make sure that you have good talents. And Marcel said on the left hand is digital, right? But not only digital. Huawei has a full portfolio. We can support you on the digital, intelligent, and green Malaysia. How green it happens? For sure, our current product will go green production. We use more and more renewable material in our products. So they make sure that this is environment friendly. Yeah? Not only it's also green product, that we jeopardize less power consumption. So we will keep it high power efficiency. And then the green enabler. How is green enabler? Right now, the 4G, 3G, 5G equipment, we're serving for telecom operators. They consume about 2% of the total energy each year. 2%. It's less, it's big. How about in future? Now, Malaysia is becoming a digital hub for the ASEAN. So you are increasing more and more data centers because the digital economy is increasing. But I will let you say, in future, you will meet a big challenge, is the power gap. You will lack of electricity in a big gap. So according to estimation, in future, this kind of data center will jeopardizing 4% of total, even increasing to 10. So a lot of AI speakers saying that AI is not only about AI itself, it's also about the energy. It's an energy monster. So what we can do, the first one is that we provide you the solar system. So we provide solar system for a big power plant. So we have a very good in the Middle East, a large-scale solar panel system to make sure that the compensation about this. And second one is for the campus. So right now, the manufacturing is ramping up in ASEAN. Why? Europe is purchasing more production capacity here. But they are requesting 30 or 40% of energy is green energy. How you can purchase it? Maybe you cannot purchase it from outside. You must generate it by yourself. So we also provide a system that for each campus, you build your own factory, use our solar system to generate green energy, to make sure that you fulfill your customers' requirements and fulfill your responsibility for the social development. And third one is that for the household. So the household, they no longer become just the one jeopardizing the electricity. They will also afford for themselves. They will more electricity consumption in the night, right? And then we use the solar panel in the day, and then we use the energy bank with batteries, and then serve it back to in the night. And also, this kind of household can also sell back to the power grid the electricity, right? So you see, this is a very changes that to mitigating this gap. And also, supercharging. We also provide the charging solutions to make sure that in future you have all changing your current gasoline-based vehicle to electricity vehicles. It will be a big challenge to the power grid. And Huawei solution right now have a supercharging. 1 single second, 1 kilometer. 1 single second, 1 kilometer. This is happening in China already. That means 5 minutes when you're jeopardizing, you take a cup of coffee, you have like a 200 or 300 kilometers capacity, yeah? So this is not only supercharging household, campers, and power plants. It's a whole system. It's a whole system. So you see that is the green part. So Huawei is always a customer-centric company. We always say that we want to create value for every of you, and we want to invite you to be our partner for digital transformation and also this new trend for this kind of a new green solution. We are open for partnership, and we are willing to support the digital, intelligent, and the green Malaysia. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. I know that you have a whole system, ecosystem to support digital economy and green. And I'm sorry, we, as usual, we have always overrun the allotted time, and therefore we have to conclude our session to be fair to the next panelists. And could you please share with me our appreciation to our panelists, usual. Thank you very much.
Thank you to our moderator and panelists.